Subject 1 is an overweight Caucasian human male. Goes by the name One-Up Gamer.
And the furry one.
Some sort of organless creature called Cool Bro. We've scanned him all day and found nothing but stuffing.
Get these specimens to the probing room. I want them tagged and released.
Yes, my lord.
Long live Emperor Meningitis.
And that, cool bro, is why you never open the door for a Jehovah's Witness. Oh god, this goo is everywhere. It's all cold and I'm slimy and what the hell is this?
Hello, human specimen 3547. How are you today?
Okay, first of all, my name is One-Up. Second, was the ass probe really necessary?
I apologize, human, but my species has found that the best storage space on the human body.
I had clothes on, I had pockets.
What are pockets?
Never mind, what do you want?
I have been sent by the Laban Empire to thank you for participating in our research on the human race.
Didn't exactly sign up for that, buddy.
And to give you a lovely parting gift.
Whatever, what is it?
Well,
What?
we started in another probe on your person, but the good news is, since I was already inserted into your rectum, it's not where you think it is.
And the bad news?
We put it in the other side.
Other side? What other side? Oh, you've gotta be kidding me.
Don't worry, human. I'll extract it for you.
No, you're not. No. Hey, I'm fine, buddy, really. I'll just go to the...
There you are, human. Enjoy!
I hate you. Destroy all humans. That's actually pretty funny. What the hell. I loved this game as a kid. Let's see if it held up.
Destroy All Humans, a third-person action game developed by Pandemic Studios, published by THQ, and released for the PS2 and Xbox in 2005. Now, while both Pandemic and THQ have since closed their doors, well, technically THQ was acquired by Nordic Games, but Pandemic was bought and shut down by EA in 2009. Regardless, this game has remained a fan favorite. Why? Let's find out. So we start up the game and are greeted by an opening cutscene paying homage to the Criswell Predicts segment from Plan 9 from Outer Space. A perfect tone setter, since this game is basically one big homage to 50s sci-fi films. The areas you visit are standard 50s archetypes, the characters are written to fit the time, there's even an unlockable trailer for Plan 9 from Outer Space in the bonus menu. Christ, this thing is an Ed Wood wet dream!
Wait, does that bit work? I mean, because Ed Wood directed Plan 9.
Anyway, after that we cut to a missile test in the deserts of Roswell, New Mexico, where a flying saucer stops right above the missile before launch and gets blown out of the sky.
Stop the countdown!
The military surrounds the ship as a gray alien crawls from the wreck, raises a weapon, and immediately collapses and gets himself captured. We then discover that was apparently an alien named Cryptosporidium 136, a soldier of an empirical race of aliens known as Furons. Apparently, Furons have developed a means by which to clone themselves to effectively achieve immortality, but every time they create a new clone, the genetic code corrupts more and more.
That's bad, right?
Only if we want to retain our immortality through cloning.
Of course it's bad!
So the invasion force leader, Orthopox, sent 136 to Earth to harvest ancient, uncorrupted Furon DNA from human brains. Anyway, 136's successor, Cryptosporidium 137, shows up and gets debriefed on the situation. He's less than ecstatic about what's happened to his brother. He freaks out for a little bit before convincing Pox to come to Earth with him so they can rescue 136, harvest DNA, and as the name would imply, destroy all humans.
Alright, I've rambled about the story long enough. How does the game actually play?
Answer: pretty damn well. The basic controls are what you'd expect for a PS2 game. Walk around and adjust the camera with the analog sticks, jump and activate the jetpack with X, charge and fire your weapons with R1, basic stuff. But here's a cool added mechanic: psychokinesis. Basically, you can target almost anything with the crosshair on your screen and select it with the L1 button. At that point, all face buttons have a different function that can help you with your missions. X scans a creature's thoughts, which also gains you more concentration points towards your other powers. Square is hypnosis, which does exactly what you'd expect. Triangle is levitation, again, pretty much what you'd expect. And circle is extraction, which does that. Other than your mind powers, you also have a series of weapons to help you with your quest. You have the Zap-O-Matic, the basic blaster that fires streams of electricity, the Anal Probe, which causes a human's brain to be immediately extracted upon hitting them with a full charge shot, the Disintegrator Ray, which does as the name implies, the Ion Detonator, which causes a huge explosion, and your Saucer, which has its own array of deadly weapons, including a superheated death ray, and my favorite weapon in the entire game, the Quantum Deconstructor.
That's never not satisfying.
Not to mention, all of these weapons can be upgraded at the mothership in exchange for some DNA. Sure, you need to collect DNA to unlock new missions, but more often than not, I found I got more than enough to unlock the next mission just from grabbing a few brains in the course of doing the current mission. Very rarely did I actually have to go out of my way or explore to harvest more brains for missions, so these upgrades are the game's way of encouraging you to hunt around and explore the open world. Well, the upgrades and the side missions, which grant a DNA bonus upon completion, and the collectible DNA probes you can find in each level.
Okay, so there are actually quite a few mechanics to encourage exploration, but upgrades are still the main one. Well, at least that's the idea of these things on paper. In execution, things turn out a bit more like this.
Oh, I need more DNA. Yeah, I usually just went back and killed a bunch of farmers. I did do some of the side missions and harvested brains from other areas, but the side missions are the same in every area and it just gets pretty boring before long. And hunting as well as story missions gets really hard near the end of the game because the security level is so incredibly sensitive in later areas and I get ambushed so fast I ignore DNA and just try to finish the mission alive.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot the security meter.
This bar at the top of the screen is the area's current security level. The more people see you without a human disguise on, and the more damage you cause without letting things die down first, the higher this level will go. When it reaches a certain point, new enemies will spawn in the level that are much harder to deal with. So go nuts! But not too nuts, or these stupid giant robots and Majestic Agents will show up. And the Majestic Agents also have psychokinesis, as well as powerful guns, and they can jam your human disguises. Which makes the already difficult later levels, which have security restrictions for failing the mission, way harder. Son of a... Oh, come on! Avoid. I was nowhere near him! Stay up, disguise, stay up. Son of a... Suck on that, you stupid Where did that robot come from?
Although, getting upgrades does make the game easier, especially the boss fights. In fact, with the exception of the final boss, it kinda makes the bosses a bit too easy for my taste.
You also get the hang of managing security and avoiding agents who can jam your disguise after a few runs at a mission, so keep up with the upgrades and remember to take your time on later missions and you'll be fine. You know, probably. So we kill lots of people, blow lots of stuff up, and harvest brains and info from Rockwell and Santa Modesta before arriving at Area 42 and finding Crypto-136, who, if you haven't guessed already, is the alien from the Roswell crash of 47, and we all know what happened to that little guy.
I really thought you'd be alive.
Needless to say, 137 is pissed, so we take control of him once again and nuke the base. Yep, they kill his brother, he nukes the base. Don't fuck with a Furon. So Crypto declares war on the Earth, what the hell were we doing before this, as we go on to destroy Uniontown and cause more havoc in Rockwell and Santa Modesta before arriving in Capital City, aka Washington, D.C., where we, and I'm being serious here, kill the president, blow up part of the city, and then fight the president's brain in a giant robot.
I love this game.
Oh, and before I wrap up, I should probably mention that I did run into a fair bit of slowdown during gameplay, especially in later levels when things got busy. But when I did, it was usually accompanied by an audio glitch of some sort, and after looking at my disc, I found it was fairly scratched up. So I'm quite confident that the slowdown was caused by my scratched up game disc and wasn't from the game itself, since I don't recall the game slowing down at all before I played it for this review. The game was still completely playable even when this happened, by the way. So overall, how has this game held up over the years? Pretty damn well. The formula of it is pretty basic and seems like something that could get stale fast, and to be honest, it does get a bit dry after a while, but its open world and variety of weapons and missions still makes it an absolute blast to play. But it's pretty damn funny on top of that. Now, I first played this game when I was fairly young. I think I was around 8 or 9, and geez, how I got a hold of it I can't really remember. But of course, I didn't get a lot of the jokes. Sex jokes, political humor, this game is littered with it. Mix that with the 50s aesthetic, and you get a pretty original piece of software.
I think it's pretty easy to see why this game is still so loved, and why it was popular enough back in the day to warrant a couple sequels. Some good, some not so good, and some I never played because I never owned an Xbox 360 and the PS3 port was cancelled. But I digress. The game is still freaking sweet, even today, and I highly recommend you go pick up a copy, especially because earlier this month, the game was re-released for the PlayStation 4 as a digital download. It's like a virtual console thing, so it's exactly the same in every way, but it makes it easier for new audiences to access the game and enjoy it, and they certainly will enjoy it if given the chance. Guaranteed.
So be it on a scratched up old game disc or the shiny hard drive of a PlayStation 4, Destroy All Humans is a classic that deserves all the attention it gets, and then some. Hello, human! I've come back to see if you're enjoying your gift.
You know what? I actually did. Thanks. Oh, by the way, I love the jab you guys did at yourselves with the whole stereotypical exterminating humanity thing. You guys have a good sense of humor.
What is humor?
What? I'll see you next time on the One Up Gamer Show.